Hello everyone, my name is Jose Avalos. I'm an associate level designer community at Avalanche Software, and in this tutorial we will learn about the color changing block, another one of the new creativities we've made for Disney Infinity 2.0. So the color changing block, as the name itself states, is a block that it looks like the basic block, but that it can change color. So let's place one here and let's see how it works. If we select it with a wand, we can see the different properties, and it says default color dark gray. This is the default color that the block has, so we can put it black, we can put it blue, dark gray, green, gray, light blue, orange, which kind of looks like a yellow, but it's a darker shade of yellow. So pink, purple, red, white, and yellow. So as you can see, we can use this for many kind of different situations. For example, let's see how the logic connections in this one work. So for that, I'm gonna put two more blocks in here, and also I'm gonna put a trigger. Alright, so the idea is that when I step into this trigger, I'm gonna change the color of this one. So, new logic connection stepped on, since we're the only ones in the player, any. And we can here set off to restore, which in this case go back to your default color, which in the case of the block that I'm pointing out right now is a yellow. Or we can set it up to any other color, so yellow, orange, purple, and so on, or it can be a random color. So for this, I'm going to use random. Now what we need to be doing is, what logic connections does this block has? So this logic connection, it only says color change. And this is whenever you tell a color changing block to change a color, even if it is go to restore. So color change. And for this one, I'm going to go with pink. And when this one turns pink, or color change in this one, I'm gonna change the third color changing block into a random color. So let's try it out. This one turned gray, this one turned pink, and this one turned green. So if I jump again, you can see that the colors change again. So the color change always executes whenever I tell it, hey, change color. So if you're feeling especially evil, you can set it off so after I change color, I change the color of this one, then I change the color of this one. But what happens if from this third block, the one that is currently orange, I think, I change the color of this one to a random color? Okay, let's try it out. You can see that these two are always going to be changing colors. Well, this one is always going to be pink. So if you want to achieve that kind of seizure-inducing effect, this is how you do it. But now let's make another use of the color changing blocks, which is basically for doing color block puzzles. So the goal of the goal is that, for example, if this one is green, if this one is red, and this one is white, then a door will open. So how do we do that? There are two methods that we can use. One of them can be by doing color changing plates, which I already covered in the advanced logic gate tutorial, or we can use individual logic gates for each of the blocks. So for example, if we say that, for example, this block, the yellow one, wants to go between, say, black, gray, and white, then we're gonna need 3 logic gates, one for each color, and this is only for this block. So for this second block, we're also gonna be doing black, yellow, and gray, and white logic gates. And we're gonna be changing colors by pushing a button. So I'm gonna also add an action button, which is located around here. Okay, so the way that this is going to work is that when we push this button, we will send an input to the logic gate, that regulates black. And we're going to be basically asking, hey, is it time to be black? And remember that logic gates have two states, either open or closed. So if we send an input from the action button and the gate is open, it will execute an output. And our output in this case is going to be turn this one black. But also, we're going to leave everything set up so the next time we check out, instead of going into the black, we're going to ask the yellow one. So for that, we're going to open this gate, and this gate, when open, it will be sure to close these two other ones. So the next time, it's going to be, hey, are you black? This gate is going to say, no, I'm closed. And then whenever we send an input to the gate and it's closed, it will send an input block to the second logic gate. Okay, so now that I'm not black, am I gray? In this one, since it's already open, we'll say, yes, I am gray. And turn this one gray. And basically repeat the same scenario of setup, but for the white. So next time it's, hey, are you black? No. Am I gray? No. Am I going to be black? Am I going to be white? Yes, it's time to be white. And also set it up so next time it's going to be black again. So how do we do all this verbal explanation? So let's start with the basic, with the button. So for this, new logic connection pressed, and I'm going to send an input to this logic gate. We're not going to be using actually this button anymore. So if this gate is open, it means that the block has to turn out black. So for this new logic connection output, and we're going to be turning this one black. And also, it means that we have to set up everything so the next time it's not going to be this one, but also but the gray one, which is the second logic gate. So we send an output from here to this second logic gate, and we open. And the last thing we need to do is that if I ask, hey, are you black? And we say no, input block, we're going to send an input to the second logic gate saying, okay, is it my time to, are you gray? So we have everything set up for this logic gate. Now let's do the same thing for this other logic gate. So, let's say new logic connection. Are you gray? Yeah. Okay, so let's change this color changing block to gray. So we go here, we go gray. And also, are you gray? No. Then let's ask the one that is white. So we'll send an input. And also what we need to do once we say, hey, are you gray? Yes, we also need to open this logic gate, the one that regulates the color white, to open up. But here's the last thing we need to do. That whenever we open this one, we close this logic gate and this logic gate. Because otherwise, if we don't do that, it's going to be, hey, are you black? Yes. And also, I'm going to open this one. But then, since this one is still open, hey, are you black? Yes. And that's not what we want. So, new logic connection, when we open this gate, we're going to be closing the one corresponding to black, and we're going to be closing the one corresponding to white. So whenever we open, we close this one. And we'll need to do the same thing for the one that regulates the black. So whenever we open, we close the one that's for gray, and we close the one that is for white. Okay, so now we need to check out the third one. So here's the thing. So it's my turn to be white? Yes. So in this case, I'm gonna change this color changing block to white, and also set up things for next time. So also, am I gonna be white now? Yes. And what am I gonna be next time? Black. So that's why we open this gate in particular. And also what we need to do is that when this gate is open, we need to close the other two, just like we did in the previous two cases. So we have that, and also new logic connection. Whenever this one is open, we close this one. Alright, so we're almost set up and ready to go. So since by default the logic gates are open whenever I place them into the level, it's going to say, hey, is it your turn to be black? Yes. Is it your turn to be gray? Yes. Is it your turn to be white? Yes. So let's try it out. Let's push the button. It turned black. So now this gate is open and these two are closed. So it's going to be input. No. It's going to send an input block and an input to this one, and this one is going to turn gray. So see that it's turned gray, and now this one is open and these two are closed. So we should be turning white now. See? White, black, gray, and white. Black, gray, and white. And that's how you change colors. But how do you do it so that every time that we are in the right color, we are actually, right? Are we actually in the right portion? So for that, the fastest way of doing this is with a trigger. Or not exactly with a trigger. I'm thinking more of a counter. So since we know that the right color, for example, let's assume that in this case it's black. When this one is the output, we're also going to be new logic connection. The output is we're going to increase 1 to the counter. So we're going to increment by 1, for example. And that the next color is going to be gray. So when we push the button again, so in this case this is second logic gate, so the output, and we decrease by 1. We decrement by 1. And so whenever we do, in this counter, the new logic connection target reach, which is the number of blocks that are in the right number, we do whatever it is that we need to do, either open a door, celebrate, or whatever. I'm not going to delve too much into the logic for this second block, because it is exactly the same. So this is really how all the color changing blocks work, and how we can use them for either, provoke seizures into the player, or for doing puzzles alongside logic gates. So I hope this tutorial has been useful to you, and if you have any questions, please let me know in the forums or in the comments. And well, thanks for watching.